It's a Victory Monday, and we're back in the Valley of the Sun, recapping the Arizona Cardinals' 20-13 season opening win, Johnny.
Yeah, we're fired up to be back. Arizona Cardinals start 1-0 for the first time 5 years, Brack, since 2021. What's the biggest catalyst for their dub? What do they need to correct ahead of Carolina this weekend? PHNX Cardinals on a Victory Monday starts now. Hey, welcome in. Studio K, presented by our friends at Circle K. Took everything in me. It's the PHNX Cardinals podcast, your premier #1 Arizona Cardinal podcast. Kindly like and subscribe, friends. Leave us a 5-star wherever you get your programming. I may or may not be out of breath. I'm Johnny Venerable. That's Brack. We're back in Phoenix, as my co-host said. Banner weekend. We brought home the dub.
Right.
Some people are saying this. We're not. That we were the big reason why the Arizona Cardinals got that victory. We will dissect.
Special.
But, yeah, welcome, friends. Welcome to my co-host, Brack.
Unbelievable. I mean, look, 48 hours in New Orleans, that'll do it to you. But look, this show brought to you by our friends over at Bet365. Download the Bet365 app. Use the code PHNX365. If you deposit $10, you place a bet for $5. You get $200 in bonus bets. It's phenomenal. And you know what else is phenomenal? These new stickers out here. I already saw a couple lives, classy, nasty, utilizing our new function, our new membership here on YouTube. Unbelievable. And we're starting to see some great members join up. And really, it's a movement. That's what it is. Nothing short of that. And we're excited to have you, a part of this community even more so.
Yeah.
But what's going on to everybody on this Victory Monday? T. Cleary, Ghost of Pat Tilley, Ken Weber. How about Alec, Mike, Gunt, Schaff? We got Boise, Rebel Leader. The entire squad is in town and ready to talk about the Arizona Cardinals being 1-0 with the potential to go 2-0 and stack some dubs, Johnny.
Best part about this Victory Monday, I broke it down, I think, with Bo and Damon Dog on the postgame show yesterday, is that you get a win and you didn't play your best football. And there's a lot of meat on the bone. And the Cardinals, I think, took what is going to be probably the best shot from New Orleans that maybe we see this year, although hopefully not. Hopefully the Saints give hell to San Francisco this week. We're going to talk about that dumpster fire here in a little bit. But, we were at that stadium. The crowd was raucous. A lot of Cardinal fans in attendance, but the Superdome sells out well. And they were fired up. New coach, right? Kellen Moore. And they had some cachet. They had some juice. It was loud as hell in there. That, again, I'm a broken record, but I believe this wholeheartedly. That Saints team is going to be dead and buried November and December, right? I think they're going to be getting blown out. I could be wrong. You took their best kind of left hook there. And so if you're a Cardinal fan, yes, you want to see this team play better, but we all know they're capable of doing that. They didn't play their best game and they still covered the spread. Look at the Denver Broncos, who I know a lot of people aren't buying into. We saw them at joint practice. They look really good on paper. Yeah. They turned the ball over what equated to almost 6 times and won by 8 points. But that was a close game into the fourth quarter. All but 2 games yesterday were down to the wire in the fourth quarter. So, and if you're a Cardinal fan, hell, I left that stadium at the end of the third quarter. That game was done in my mind. That game was over. It was done. So it's the beauty of the NFL that the margin for these guys all get paid. They're all pros. And, New Orleans has got a couple pros. Have been doing this for a long time, like Cameron Jordan and DeMario Davis. So, but the most important thing is you came out of there with a win and you onward and upward at 1-0.
Yeah, I mean, the misconception about a rebuilding team like the Saints, I mean, we want to start to say, hey, are they the 2025 version of the 2023 Cardinals? Looks like they were playing with that sort of effort, but older roster, as you mentioned, those 2 vets, that we kind of scoffed at going into the week, shame on us. Demario Davis was probably the best player on the field on Sunday. It was, I mean, how he graded out. We were listening, our friend of the program, Trevor Sikkema, break it down. I mean, this guy was still going sideline to sideline. And Cam Jordan, in an expanded role because of the injury to my buddy Chase Young, I was hanging out with him in the press box. He turned back the clock and got to the quarterback. And, that's where, you're going to see guys who are a little bit longer in the tooth, in the mid-30s, like week one, it's probably their best shot. And, unfortunately, the Cardinals were the ones that had to take the brunt of that, but were able to escape relatively unscathed and also with the dub in hand. And that is important. And as Calais Campbell said in the post-game locker, and then reiterated that today, it's the worst it's going to look, right? And, they have higher expectations for themselves. And I think everybody's well aware that when Johnny exited the building and it's 20-10, there were a couple opportunities that were missed, especially on offense, and left the door ajar. And I don't care how bad of a team you're playing at this level, you do that and continuously give teams opportunities. They hang around and they'll make you pay for it. So, it's definitely the Cardinals were able to escape, but now kind of just survive in advance and get to, work on some things, but at 1-0.
Yeah, I mean, Kamara's still big-time player, headed to the Hall of Fame. Olave, prior to his injuries and his concussions, has been a great player, first-rounder. Calvin Banks Jr. looks like the real deal, left tackle. Eric McCoy's a good player. Fuaga's a good player that they took in the first round. Like, they had some juice on offense, and I think, like, we all agree, like, defensively, the Cardinals, from an offensive perspective, probably had a chance to put that game away a couple different times.
Yeah.
You had a chance to really make Rattler and company one-dimensional, forcing turnovers, and they could never get that knockout shot. So the defense had to do it for them, and that's okay, because what have we been saying all year, all offseason? Like, maybe this is going to be a defensive team, heading into at least the early stages of 2025, and I'm okay with that as long as it comes out with a dub. Listen, style points, we argued they matter.
Sure.
I think they check some boxes. I think some still remain to be seen. But, Bo, I mean, this franchise has gotten off to some horrific starts. They've had some awful breaks. I think about 2 years ago in Washington, hell, last year against Buffalo, you were up big. We're not going to apologize, nor should you as a fan, of who you play when you play them. I mentioned the Broncos earlier in my rant. Like, the Broncos played nobody last year. They got gifted backups. They won 10 games. That's all anybody cares about.
Right. No, look, I mean, we can't, as we have a lot of confidence in this coach and his staff, you look back at it in 34 games, they're 12-22, right? So you can't turn your nose up on wins. You just can't do that.
Yeah.
Can you find places where they can improve? And, like, as they develop, like, this is going to be a team that's going to have to learn to play with elite.
Yeah.
And really kind of take the air out of the football. And what we thought we knew about the Cardinals was that they could run. But, we talked about it a little bit, like the absence of the running game outside of a 52-yard rush from Trey Benson that he broke off. It was like a rush expectation of 3 yards. He turned it into, 49 more. Fantastic. But that juiced up the rushing stats on a slow day there, especially when they needed it to salt away the clock in the second half. So, that's unfortunate. And I think you also saw some struggles in the interior of the offensive line. I mean, that's what PFF points to. You saw Isaiah Adams was the lowest graded Arizona Cardinals offensive player. And I think that if you have two eyes and you watch the game on Sunday, you saw the struggles there. So a lot to improve on there. We talked to Jonathan Gannon just about over an hour ago, Johnny, and he was asked about finishing in these types of games.
All three phases is complementary, but there's no doubt we took a good hard look at that. You'd like to end the game with the ball in your hands, which we've done before, but just got to do a little bit better job there.
I mean, listen, it was unacceptable to leave that building with a loss. They didn't, right? And so and I've seen this team put a whooping on bad teams dating back to last year, right? Doesn't matter how you get it done. Now, you would like to be able to sit here and say you're playing really good football when you're going to face the Niners in 2 weeks or when you're going to play Seattle on Thursday Night Football, but you still have time to correct that. I will bang this drum until proven otherwise. I think the offensive and defensive lines, I don't like the term like out of shape, but like they weren't sharp yesterday. And I think part of that has to do with the fact that they did not hit for about a month and they didn't play in the preseason. And again, you can scoff at that. The Saints with their players, because they got no choice, because they were putting out Spencer Rattler and Tyler Shuck. Right. That O-line's been playing together the entire preseason, multiple quarters into games, and they have talent on their offensive line. So they pushed around the defensive line. Calais, who's been, having a training camp that resembles somebody who's going into his final year and he's almost 40 years old. Dalvin Tomlinson has gotten ample time off. Josh Sweat has gotten ample time off. So you look at that and it's just like, okay, you're starting to connect some dots there. Darius Robinson basically lost his rookie year. Throw him out there. Didn't perform particularly great. Didn't have a great PFF score. Like, this is not the end product. I see a lot of people overreacting, in my opinion, based on this defensive line. It's like, guys, we all watched and hoped that the defensive line was going to play a little bit more in the preseason. They didn't, knowing full well this could be the reality. This could be a byproduct of that. Hey, guess who did play a lot in the preseason? The 47th overall pick. Guess who looks really good? Some of the guys who had an opportunity to play Trey Benson in the preseason. So again, you escaped and now knocked off some rust. Hopefully that's it. And you go into this Sunday and you're much more sharp and refined.
Not a bad point by my co-host as we go into our 4th season covering this team. And I know one thing about you that is 100% true is you never overreact. You're never somebody.
Never happened before.
You are level-headed and as cool as they come. We talked to Gannon about that defensive line's performance. This was his answer.
As far as like sacks and things like that.
I always think we can affect the passer a little bit better, but what goes into that is how they chose to play us. So you got to have a little bit of, understanding of when, they're going tempo the whole game and they're getting the ball out really fast. A lot of those throws came less than 2 seconds. There could be nobody out there and the ball is getting out there before they hit them. So I always think we got to do a better job with that. I do think, especially this next week too, and it's almost like every week, but some of the times that he got out when we're 4-man rushing, we kind of lost our rush leverage, and we have to do a better job of that. So we'll get it cleaned up.
They gave up 13 points. Dating back to last year, week 7, Bo and I pulled this up on our flight home today. They're the best team against the pass in terms of opposing passing touchdowns in the NFL. Not the NFC, not the NFC West, in the flipping NFL. The defense will be fine. Does anybody think for a minute that the defense coached by Jonathan Gannon and Nick Rollis with a bunch of new players, still getting up to speed, acclimated, probably still trying to get into shape, you know who they are, is not going to be cooking with gas when it matters most? I have zero concern about this defense. I was really encouraged by the performance yesterday. Frankly, Spencer Rattler was coached and he did an excellent job of getting the ball out fast yesterday. Alvin Kamara ran well. Give them credit. I'm in the credit business for the Saints today that they didn't put themselves in a position outside of one interception that was called back of turning the football over. But I have no concerns about this defense. Zero.
Yeah, I mean, I think that the lack of pressure, the perception there, one of the reasons you can come up with is the ball coming out. I mean, when you look at Spencer Rattler, who's getting rid of it 2.52 seconds throughout the game. I mean, it was coming out quick. And tip of the cap to two people you and I horrendously overlooked, Kellen Moore and Brandon Staley. I mean, the Brandon Staley thing, I mean, you heard JG giving his old friend immense amount of props for that 3rd down corner blitz that took out Kyler Murray on the final offensive possession. And, kudos to Brandon Staley, the former Chargers coach, for being, having the gusto to dial that up and it working out for him and giving them a shot there. But you look, the Cardinals, they sneak out of there, the skin of their teeth. And you're looking for that defensive line to primarily, in that defensive front to trend in a positive direction from that game. But look, if that's going to be the game plan, You have to find ways. You're going to have to find ways to dial up pressure other ways. And we know we saw that from Nick Ross. You talk about that week 7, Johnny, last year, the Cardinals since that point have given up the least amount of touchdown passes in the league. It's when I think he really started to dial up exotic blitzes. That's when he started to use Mac Wilson, Kazir White, and Budda Baker and get guys from different areas to get after the quarterback. I don't think want to do that, but they want to rush 4 primarily. But if they have to, they have the ability to.
Yeah, they have so many kind of interchangeable parts. They're mixing and matching a bunch of defensive linemen. Mac Wilson Sr.'s playing a new role, and he looked great in training camp. He had a horrific day tackling yesterday. Does anybody think that's going to continue? I think they're all kind of feeling themselves out. And when you have a soft schedule to begin the year with a couple teams that you should handle, you can do that. You know, I see somebody in the chat pointing out Philadelphia in 2024 last year had close games against everybody to begin the year. I would rather the Cardinals figure stuff out early and not collapse at the end of the year and instead maybe play their best football at the end of the year. I think that's a possibility. Kyler Murray can play better. This offense, I want to talk quickly about this offense, Bo. And we're going to get into it throughout the course of the show, but like, I know people are upset that the offensive line broke down and they're concerned 5 sacks. This is an outlier performance. Yes, Clayton Adams is gone. Justin Fry is here. And if that continues, like that'll be a discussion point, but it's the same players as last year.
Yeah.
It's the same players that were part of a unit that gave up 29 sacks for the year. They have a ton of depth. You just, for whatever reason, you got beat up yesterday. Paris Johnson Jr. is the only offensive lineman that played particularly well. He had a PFF grade in the 70s. His pass block grade was 88. Both the guards stunk. And here's the thing. We've made this point time and time again, Bo. You can have average to below average tackle play, and Kyler Murray can make the most of it. He cannot overcome interior pressure because of his height. Like that, we've seen that. It can't be disputed. So I know there are people out there that are, clamoring for Will Hernandez. Guys, Will Hernandez, he can't move right now. He's on the active roster, working his way back into shape.
It's an idiotic call.
He will not be ready minimum for like 6 to 8 weeks. So everybody's just like, or maybe closer to like 4 to 6 weeks. But people are like put Will Hernandez in. He's not close to being ready to play.
First off, he's not active, and then it's a long road. I mean, he's closer than a lot of people anticipated at this point in the season, but he's less than 12 months removed from tearing his ACL.
Right.
It's even though he's a guy that plays a position where you don't have to. It's not like you're asking him to come off the edge like a BJ Ojulari. You're asking him to cut too much. I mean, he's an offensive lineman and has the luxury of being able to play in a brace and not impact him as much, but. It's not that close, folks. It's not that close to saying, hey, you need to start calling for the backup. And in the case of Isaiah Adams, you can win a game and you can have a guy go out there and struggle. That's kind of the best medicine right there. And it's a necessary evil as far as the Cardinals offensive line goes. And like you look at the tape, you look at the grades, and Isaiah Adams struggled about as much as anybody could yesterday on the gridiron.
Yeah, absolutely. One of the highlights was the play of rookie cornerback Will Johnson. We're going to get to that, put his day into context and what we can expect moving forward from what appears to be the steal of the draft. That's coming up. It's PHNX. Fired up, Bo, about all of our partners here at PHNX Sports, but how about our friends at Pure Edibles? We had a chance to connect with our friends from Pure Edibles over the weekend in New Orleans, which was fantastic. Pure Edibles, they do great stuff, not only here in the Valley, but well beyond. They were created in Flagstaff at a Noble dispensary. The home Pure Edibles are now made here in Great Phoenix, Arizona. These are not, covered in sugar like other competitors. Full-fledged candy company is Pure Edibles. They're designed to be ripped in half, bit, shareable, easy to dial in your exact dose. And again, this is a new offering. They've got the Pure Edibles and Mother Road collaboration right now. We were just talking to one of their owners about this, who says happy hour has to end with Noble Road's new Tower Stadium IPA all-in-one. It's happy hour all the time. No pouring, no waiting, just good tasting high whenever you want it. If you're in Arizona, I highly recommend swing by one of their local dispensaries, grab yourself the Tower Station AIO from Noble Road. Cheers to happy hour all day long. We're going to hook you up right now. Go to pureedibles.com, one of their 130 dispensaries across Arizona.
Two staples, man, of our great state is Mother Road up there in Flagstaff and Noble Herb, and you got Pure Edibles, man. It's fantastic. Three staples. My gosh, nice math there. Also got some math as I start to look at maybe purchasing some tickets to some upcoming Cardinals game with the season opener in the rear view. Looking ahead to the season opener at State Farm Stadium. You can get in the door right now with Game Time for $38. That's right. For under $40, you can watch Kyler Murray, Marvin Harrison Jr., Will Johnson, who we're about to talk about, take the field against the Carolina Panthers and hopefully improve to 2-0. $38. You can get your parking pass as well, and you can get it for about as cheap as you can find it with the Game Time app. Do it today. Download the Game Time app today. And also, you could save some more money just by being a listener or viewer of PHNX. Use the code PHNX, and you get $20 off your first order. That's $20 off your first order with Game Time. All you have to do is download the app for free, sign up, find your tickets, and then use the promo code PHNX. You can get $20 off. $38 minus 20. Let's do this quick math here. $18 under $20 you're getting in the stadium next week for a ticket to see the Cards play the Panthers. Mercury, Sun Devils, D-backs, they're back in the thick of things. Whatever you can think about. How about concerts and events? Go find it on Game Time. What time is it? It's Game Time.
It's Game Time. It's diehard time. I'm going to tell you right now, the best use of $3 a month, if you're a fan of this show and fan of Arizona Cardinals writing in the written form, is to go to gophnx.com right now and check out the work of our new writer on the PHNX Cardinals beat, Alex, who just dropped, by the way, perfect timing, a banger of an article on Will Johnson. I think it's free for everybody to go read right now, so I would encourage you to do that.
Is it unlocked?
I believe it is unlocked. So Alex, who's absolutely crushing it, had cranked out 2 articles yesterday, instant reaction, then a game discussion, and then, of course, today, a great article less than an hour ago on Will Johnson. So happy to have Alex a part of the team here, rounding out our coverage. And speaking of our coverage, yesterday it was led by the play of the 47th overall pick, Will Johnson. And, you watch the game that he had and you think, well, he's going to be a really good player. And then you see, which we're big time junkies for this, the advanced metrics that come out and the analytics that can't come with his performance, which tell a bigger story. And you're sitting back and you're wondering, like, did even we underestimate how good this young man could be? And Noah Man made a banger of a graphic. Let's see it. Will Johnson, though, had a dominant performance to open his NFL career.
This is unbelievable. I mean, the highlights, probably the only thing that best this graphic, but Will Johnson's dominance. I mean, he was getting the catching the eye of guys like Phil Yates, guys who cover this thing on a national basis. I know people were kind of piggybacking that today. They said, people are high on Will Johnson. Let me tweet about it. But we're the hipsters, we're the OGs, and we've been following this thing. And I think, like you mentioned, we're even blown away by how good immediately Will Johnson was. I mean, like, he came out, he was breaking up passes. He should have had his first career interception. But as he got an elite grade of 90.2, highest of any first-year player on NFL opening Sunday or opening week, second best coverage grade for any cornerback. That's not just rookie. And then, as you mentioned, the high-rated rookie defender. This is all according to our friends over at Pro Football Focus. So, fantastic debut. I think he showed off, just a diverse skill set from being sticky in coverage to being physical, and then also just being able to read it. My God, on the interception, he basically ran the route himself. Just an unbelievable debut for Will Johnson at a position that most of the time you have to wait and see on these. Like, you have to take your lumps, where Will Johnson week 1 did not. He was the aggressor. He was the guy that was putting on a show.
Jahdae Barron, didn't see much from him yesterday.
Yeah.
And he was selected above Will Johnson, first round, 20th overall. Maxwell Hairston, who had no business being drafted over Will Johnson, was part of Buffalo's comeback last night, did not play.
What about Travis Hunter?
Travis Hunter, no notable highlights to speak of.
Snaps at corner.
I mean, we're not going to do the thing here on September 8th after one game to say, well, if the draft was redrafted today, that Will Johnson would go top 10. But if we had another opportunity, Will Johnson would be one of the first like 10 to 15 players selected. I feel pretty good about that.
That's where he should have gone.
Health permit.
That's what we were projecting the entire way throughout the draft process. This guy was a top 15 pick. And then this medical flag came up after kind of a season in college mauled by injury.
Yep. And
also a lost season for Michigan overall. They were bad, not because of Will Johnson, but foot issues. And then he explained in the Players Tribune article, the big flag issue came up when he had, cartilage cleaned up, and they were just kind of concerned about the long-term effect of that, impact of that. But it's like, should have really dropped him 30 spots in the draft. And the thing about Will Johnson, he said he wrote that Players Tribune like fresh off the draft. This was not something he had just done. He hasn't been like, he's motivated by this. He's not seething day in and day out. This is a guy that's focused on doing his job at a high level. And you saw that yesterday.
It's a copycat league. And when bad teams, there are a lot of them, see that good teams and good franchises like the Ravens and the Chiefs and the Bills are passing on Will Johnson, guess what? When the Cleveland Browns have, I think, 2 picks ahead of the Arizona Cardinals, the Browns are like, we're good, right? We don't need him. And so that's how these things can snowball. And this is where you really have to credit Monty Ossenford for making this pick and feeling like, well, this is somebody that we feel like has like a 1% chance, whatever he said, to make it to Arizona. And we feel good about the medical. We're going to take him. They're already reaping the benefits of it. I'm not sure they win that game without him, maybe, but when you can take a player in the second round and he immediately begins to contribute at a high level. Yeah. And we said this, he will be and I love Garrett Williams. I think Garrett Williams, unfortunately, had an uncharacteristic off day yesterday, but Garrett Williams is a really good player. Will Johnson will be the best corner on this roster by the end of the year. He will go up against number 1 receivers. I thought it was encouraging. He went against Raheed Shaheed for a good amount yesterday, who is traditionally a burner. People have been questioning his speed. Will didn't look slow by any stretch. Of course, the hit, which we've repurposed many times here at PHNX Sports, the hit on Chris Olave that knocked him out of the game. It's one of those things where we consume so much draft content. Yeah. And we know you guys are all sickos like us, and you can't even in your wildest dreams imagine a player of his caliber falling to you in the second round and then Cardinals pulling the trigger.
He played like a bona fide first-round pick because he is that caliber of player that was downgraded, by most of the league, unfortunately. And the Cardinals benefited greatly from that. That we've said it, but that's the kind of thing that transforms your draft from good to making some impact the following season to turning you into, taking your chances the following season and beyond to the next level. You got a first-round caliber player at 47th overall, nearly outside of the top 50. So, we're patiently waiting for Walter Nolan to get the rush part down. But it looks like you got the cover part down with Will Johnson. Let's hear from Jonathan Gannon less than 24 hours after the debut from Will Johnson, how he thought Sub-Zero did.
Played well. Yeah, he played well. I thought he played with the right technique for the most of the day. Made some plays, showed up. I know the one big hit that was – what was cool about that was taking the coaching to the grass. That was formation recognition with him there in that particular call. Some freedom that we gave him, and he saw it and applied it. The one interception, unfortunate, gets taken off the board. But I thought he played well.
For a defense that it is unfortunate.
He's treading lightly there.
Yeah, because it was a BS call. We were there in person. It was a ridiculous call. And again, the Cardinals were gifted a couple calls yesterday too. For a defense that has, to this point, had a tough time creating turnovers, this is your best shot right now. He's probably your most gifted, pass catcher, your most gifted DB, linebacker, defensive lineman getting their hands on the football. And so, that's an option. That's a threat every week moving forward. I think if you told me somebody picked off Bryce Young this weekend, I would put my money on Will Johnson before anybody else on this team. And that's not a knock on anybody. The Cardinals don't possess the pass rush yet to generate turnovers consistently, but Will Johnson possesses the technique and the God-given ability to go out and just take the football away. Spencer Rattler wasn't under pressure when he threw that ball yesterday. He just underestimated the ability of the 47th overall pick and probably said, I'm probably not going to try that again for the rest of the game.
Yeah. No, and I think you have to be really excited. You mentioned Garrett Williams, but you have to be excited about the entire defensive secondary as a whole.
Yeah.
9 passes defensed. That wasn't just a game high. That was the league high. They had the most passes defensed. And you got to think, if they continue to develop, they're getting their hands on football right now. Are they going to be maybe turn 1 or 2 of those into interceptions going forward? But this is a 100% homegrown defensive secondary, and they shined yesterday. They really did. You can knock the defensive front, and it didn't maybe meet the expectations of, the revamp and the resources sunk into that. But, you saw a defensive secondary that was young last year outside of Garrett Williams, at least at the corner spot, that struggled because they were asked to cover for so long. No matter what was going on in the game yesterday, they were up to the task and they were making plays.
Yeah. To me, this defense will only go as far as the playmakers on the team. And that's a good feeling, because last year and the year before, the personnel, you always felt like you had a ceiling with the individuals you had. And that's when Darius got hurt and Ojulari went out, that's why I felt like Rallis was a magician every Sunday, because it's how are you doing this with Victor Dumakaji and Dennis Gardeck and Sean Murphy Bunting? And now it's well, if the Cardinals are giving up 13 points in a game where we felt like they could play better, and we're just now seeing Will Johnson at the NFL level, and we haven't had a chance to unlock Darius, and Walter Nolan's coming back, and Jordan Birch PFF grade was solid in the 70s yesterday, and Mac Wilson Sr. is going to play better than that. I mean, you're talking about a defense that, the offense can screw around all year, and it may not matter because this defense could be on the precipice of, hopefully taking the league by storm. What I saw yesterday, and I know people are upset because they couldn't get pressure on Spencer Rattler. I'm telling you that will get corrected with this defensive line playing more. I think you have a ceiling of a top 5 defense.
Yeah. Yeah. Was it Rebel Leader making a good point? Yeah. Rabbit Taylor Demerson, who was out there.
Yeah.
50 plays yesterday, a lot. For considering that he plays safety, that's a loaded room. Jalen Thompson, Buda Baker, who played 100% of the snaps, were out there as well. So a lot of, 3 safety looks, whatever you want to call it. They're finding ways to expand his role, and he played very well in that. Second-year player, oft used in his rookie season. So, you add that to your defense. If you get it going up front, and just think about the possibilities. It's really exciting. To think about, could it be the return of the no-fly zone? Could it be no-fly zone 2.0? Workshopping that. I don't know. But look, day one, game one opportunity met.
We got more stuff from JG, plus trending up, trending down, and the 49ers could be in complete shambles. That's coming up. It's PHNX. Everybody, do us a favor. You guys took care of us yesterday on game day. Hit that like button. Let's get over 500 likes here on a Victory Monday. You know who's keeping you in the win column? Our friends at Monarch Money. Again, I'm returning home from New Orleans. Great place, expensive. I'm in, let's just call it financial shambles right now. No, I'm not. But I know that I can go to Monarch.
Convenience store yesterday. Holy hell.
Yeah. 2 Gatorades, well over $11. So use the bonus code PHNX, monarchmoney.com. Monarch Money is here to not just be a financial app, frankly. It's a tool real professionals and experts use to budget for them. It's been named the best budgeting app of 2025 by the Wall Street Journal, Forbes best budgeting app. So again, if you're thinking about how do I get everything in one place, recommendations, access, financial advisors, Monarch Money gives you and your partner full access to a shared dashboard, including linked accounts, budgets, goals, spending activity, all in one place. Again, no more guessing, no more hiding, no more, I didn't realize that we spent that much. Everything is a one-stop shop with our friends at Monarch Money. Don't let financial opportunities slip through the cracks. Use the bonus code PHNX at monarchmoney.com. Get 50% off the first year. That's 50% off the first year. monarchmoney.com, bonus code PHNX.
They recommend your own personal CFO in your pocket. Don't spend $11 on 2 Gatorades. Bad investment there.
Correct.
Rally House is the go-to spot, though, for all your game day investments. How about jerseys? How about hats? How about drinkware? Whatever it may be, coolers, socks. They've got it for you at Rally House, your local Rally House. How about 3 locations in the Valley of the Sun? Mesa, Glendale, Tempe. And here's the cool part. We're going to be out at the Glendale location this Friday, hanging out, doing our live show. Come join us for a live show and check out all the great gear, all the Arizona Valley sports gear you could dream of is going to be right there. And that's going to be right on the heels of the rivalry jerseys dropping on Thursday. So Rally House, sure, they're going to be loaded up on that. We'll confirm that, but we're excited about chances of that happening. They carry all the Arizona sports teams that you love: Cardinals, D-backs, Suns, Arizona State, Wildcats. It doesn't stop. Every time you visit Rally House, you're guaranteed to find something new, unique, and matches your game day vibe.
Yes,
sir. A
sir.
lot of great game day vibes out there with our friends over at Bird Game Travel and the tailgate and that entire experience. But find your local Rally House location and shop their entire product assortment online at rallyhouse.com. That's rallyhouse.com.
Arizona Cardinals 1-0 for the first time since 2021. Big part of that, again, the play of Marvin Harrison Jr. yesterday, Bo. Again, much more efficient. I thought the usage was good. Probably could have been better. Kyler Murray's connection with him better. Still not probably where you want it. But here's Jonathan Gannon on Marvin K1 yesterday.
One game is not enough. We got to keep doing a good job with it. But I liked where it was at. Obviously, efficient, productive, explosive. I know everyone's talking about the go ball, the explosive pass that led to his touchdown down there. The 3rd and 10 was the biggest play of the game from Marv to me, because we're backed up, and that looks a lot different kicking backed up with however much time we ended up chewing off. I think 4.5 minutes off the clock there, and not, punting with a normal punt and them being backed up. I thought that was a big time play in the game, but I thought Marvin, then there's other times that Marvin didn't get the ball that I liked what he was doing. So, you guys know the passing game is going to go through 85 and 18. And, then the role players need to get involved and do a good job, which they did. I know he completed the ball to a lot of different guys, and they'll make their hay when it's time. But with our premier playmakers, we got to make sure that that's on point, and I thought it was.
Well said by the head coach. This team is not good enough. He didn't say this, I'm going to say it, to not have 18 and 85 be spam the football.
Right.
It's basically what he's saying is like, our passing game goes through 2 individuals, and then everybody else just be ready for the football.
Yep.
And like, I know there are people online that are clamoring about like, why didn't this team sign Keenan Allen, or why didn't they draft a receiver? And it's like, guys, it's just not how they want to play. It's not. Right. This is not in their DNA. Hell, if it was up to them, like they probably would have taken a tackle when they had a top 5 pick a couple years ago. But Marv and Neighbors, it was a generational receiver class. This is who they are. But they have to embrace the passing aspect of this team.
Yeah, and maybe get a little bit riskier with the football. I mean, I know that gets that's a risky request, but Marvin Harrison Jr. What did we find out today? Kyler Murray had close to a perfect quarterback rating when targeting the second-year receiver, who had 5 catches for 71 yards and a touchdown. You have the miss. I thought Kurt Warner did a good job in breaking down, what potentially happened there. Can't wait to hear Kurt's thoughts on this game coming up this Wednesday, Johnny, because we do get to talk to the Hall of Famer and get his thoughts on this game as we're going to get throughout the entire 2025 season. But I think there's a lot to like from Marvin Harrison Jr. and to think like they were close to having a play that would have put Marvin Harrison Jr., past the century mark as far as receiving. And you did see him, win that, the big explosive route and something that you didn't feel like you saw in 2024. And I think, it was either Marv or Kyler that said, apologies for me for being mush brained on that, but somebody said, one of them, that they might not complete that last season. So, it's good to see that they took that step, and you're seeing the improved chemistry, and then Trey's always going to be there. I know it was a quiet second half for McBride, but he looked really good in the first half and made some key catches on 3rd down, shook off some tacklers. Like, this offensive ecosystem, Johnny. It's a 2-target share passing attack with a run game, and then of course Kyler Murray's skill set, and that should be enough in today's NFL to be as competitive as you want to be.
You can't talk about, hope for another pass catcher until you ensure that your top 2 guys are well fed, for lack of a better term. And I'm still sitting here, and I think Marvin Harrison Jr. could have had 1 or 2 more targets yesterday, and certainly Trey McBride and Kyler Murray should have connected on a couple more passes. I mean, historically, you brought this up. It's like Kansas City with Mahomes in their heyday. It was Travis Kelce and Tyreek Hill, and then role players, right? And I think the Cardinals have that same infrastructure.
Those role players have like gone on to do nothing. Like they get these big stages and they take advantage of the opportunities, but like, what do we know about MVS? What do we know about Hardman?
Yeah.
I mean, these are guys that bounce around because like people get this misconception like, hey, they can be an option in our offense. Like, no, like those are complementary pieces. Those are glue guys. Those are role players, and you all need them, but you also need these 2 big beasts in the passing attack that they have.
The Cardinals feel like Kyler Murray's skill set with Drew Petzing's run game, and you can disagree with this. I disagree with it at times. Fits really well, right? Instead of putting Kyler Murray, and I know it's not great timing because they gave up 5 sacks yesterday, but historically, like, this offense has kept him upright, it's kept him healthy, it's kept him off the ground, and they want to be able to run the football. They want to be able to go up against San Francisco and Seattle and LA late in the year and do what's necessary on the ground. That travels, right? So, I mean, a big knock on Cliff's team was that toward the end of the year, the physical piece was not there. Now, Gannon has to show that they can win the games early and late, just like Cliff. But to me, I come back to early in that game, first possession, first possession. And they had a penalty, and it was 2nd and 21. And Drew Petzing subsequently ran the ball 2 straight times and conceded the drive. Yeah. And I was furious. Twitter was upset. And then what happened later? I think they had almost similar down and distance, and Drew Petzing said, let's rip it. And Kyler Murray completed a key 3rd down to Trey McBride, and they eventually, I think they scored on a James Conner shovel pass on that drive.
Yeah.
It's like Kyler Murray can help you overcome large amounts of down and distance on 2nd and 3rd down. Mm-hmm. If I could have 2 minutes with Drew Petzing, I would say, go, Drew, look back at the 2020 and 2021 Arizona Cardinals. A lot of it was just Kyler Murray erasing mistakes because that team was not buttoned up, and they were playing backyard football half the time, and he could eliminate. I remember the opener against the Niners in 2020 when the Niners just went off a Super Bowl appearance, and Kyler Murray and D-Hop just completely boat raced San Francisco. And so many instances in that day, it was Kyler Murray just back-breaking runs and passes on 2nd and 3rd and long. And I think that there's just a lot of us that think, well, this is always there. It's always been there. Let's tap into that more. And that's why it was so demoralizing early in that game when they opted not to do it, and so refreshing later when he was given a chance. I think with this defense, especially, Bo, and you hit the nail on the head, take some chances, please. Sure. Because this defense, they gave up some yards yesterday. They're holding teams out of the end zone. Take some shots. Put games away sooner instead of dicking around with 2 or 3 yard completions behind the line of scrimmage. I'm done with that. We're over that as a fan base.
Yeah, you've got higher aspirations for this offense. Yeah. And, I think you saw some good, but you also saw some things where you didn't see improvement. And that's, I think it's fair to be critical outside of like, hey, we need to move on from this or that. And those old played out talking points. You're 1-0 and you were able to get some nice plays and made enough to win the game. It's not always going to look pretty. It's never going to look perfect. But look, Marvin Harrison Jr. year 2, I'm encouraged by what I've seen. And now can you kind of like get it, all the ingredients in that mixing bowl for this offense to take a step from
what have we been saying?
Yeah.
He's going to sleepwalk his way to 1,200 yards. Yesterday, he had a good game. Could have been a great game. Mm-hmm. You project his stats from yesterday over 17 games, 1,200 yards exactly. 70 yards a game. And that's,
Kyler Murray missed him over the middle. Like, I think, a lot of people are talking about, hey, he's got a 90-yard touchdown. Like, that would completely change, 71 yards. You're like, that's a good game. But like, he's one catch away from like, that was an unbelievable performance by Marv. He passes the century mark for a third time in his career, becomes the third wide receiver to pass the century mark in Drew Petzing's offense. So it would have changed a lot of things, but you're that close, or you're just that far away from changing, how people view your offense. And like, it's going to come down to hitting on those, but you're not going to get them all.
I thought his best play, I agree with Gannon, bailing him out in the end zone. I think his physicality
was going to take a shot. He knew he was going to take a shot.
Mm-hmm. How about Bo, like, pour one out for the people who think Marv can't separate? I mean, he was separating all day yesterday.
No.
And he's a monster. No DB is going to be able to, like, even if they can run with him, is going to be able to match up with Marv, like, physically. No DB looks like him, is over 6'3", and can play press man on Marv. So
I was looking at it, he was right around league average. He's 6'4", 220 pounds. I mean, if he's separating at league average, he can do things that not the rest of the league can do it.
Well, and last year, the rip on him was he was like in the bottom tier.
Yeah.
It's just like, how about we just let this guy play football? He's a real, like, you're not good enough, in my opinion, to win games consistently without him being one of your best players on your team.
Right. Agreed.
Like yesterday, I put out a tweet right before that, second or third drive. I'm just like, just give him the football.
Right.
And they did. And it changed the complexity of the game. If they had gone 3 and out again.
That was a spark. I mean, I asked Marv that and Kyler kind of the same questions. Like, did that 45-yard bomb, did it spark the offense? And, they had to think, and I don't think they wanted to put that much emphasis on one play, but I don't think there was a disagreement either.
It's so refreshing because I don't like that the run game looked like that.
Yeah.
And it was juiced up, as you've mentioned, by Kyler's running and Trey Benson's one run. Trey had a nice day. I want to see what Drew Petzing and this offense can do when the run game is taken away. Because guess who's going to take away the run?
Yeah.
The Seattle Seahawks and the LA Rams. And then what do you have? Then what can you do? Because last year, you couldn't do much of anything at the end of the year. You were a one-trick pony. You went into Seattle, and they boat raced you defensively. You had no shot. Your passing game looked broken. Like that yesterday was, I hope more teams take away the run. And they say, Drew and Kyler and Marv and Trey beat us through the air. And the Cardinals say, well, we've been doing that off and on all year. We feel like we can do that toward the end of the season.
We can flip that switch.
Right.
Where you just didn't feel like that. It wasn't there. The confidence wasn't there. Like, you flipped the switch, and most of the time you had to go, check the box and reset it. It's like, and then one time in Miami, it worked. One time it was like, oh, flipped it, and it's all working. But like, this league's too good. You got to consistently do it, and you got to consistently put yourself in that spot.
I agree with Claymore Jones. Like, teams that are buttoned up, when you play the Packers later this year.
Yeah.
You think the Packers aren't going to be buttoned up against the run? Of course they are. I mean, lean into this. Expand on it. Don't make this a one-off. Because, first of all, it's not Kyler Murray didn't even throw for 200 yards.
Right.
Like, build on this.
He threw for like less than 40 yards in the second half.
And I'm not going to be negative, but like,
that was unacceptable. That was unacceptable.
Yeah, the second half offensive performance was not good.
Yeah, 3 points.
But guess what? Guess who knows that? The man we just heard from.
Yeah.
Because I guarantee at the end of the day, he's happy with his defense. They gave up 13 points. Guess where his attention is probably going to be this week? Hey, O-line. Hey, Drew. Hey, Kyler. Figure this out. Let's get this going. We need to score 30 points. This Panther team is terrible. We need to score 30 points at home.
Yeah. Great stuff there. Who's trending? Who's not trending? Who's trending up? Who's trending down? That, I guess, it's a segment we've done every year. I don't know how I struggle to say it. But let's get into that coming up next year on PHNX Cardinals.
We're bringing the boom here on a Victory Monday. Hope you did the same via our friends at Bet365. So I misspoke on the postgame show yesterday. We put out a bet. Our little parlay, it wasn't boosted, but it was, a nice little tease from your boys.
Yeah.
2 of the 3 legs hit. Marv over 60, Marv anytime touchdown, which felt like free money yesterday. And then I teased up the Cardinals money line to 10 points. Should have hit if they didn't have a field goal blocked. So I know a lot of people did that parlay with just the money line. we feel really good about our parlays moving forward. I feel great about our partnership with Bet365. Here's the best part about it is the early payout right now. We're hearing from a lot of fans, a lot of diehards. They're getting paid out quick, fast, and in a hurry because with Bet365 for either college football or the NFL, Bo, if your team goes up by 17 points, you get that instant payout straight to your bank account. Again, last NFL season, both money lines were paid out 4 times as much because of the early payout. I don't know anybody else that's doing that. That's like free money. Applies to college football as well. Bet365, we're going to hook you up right now. $300 in bonus bets. Not one, not two, 300 with a $10 deposit, $5 bet. Right now, if you win, bonus bets can be used on spreads, totals, player props, and more. You got to be 21 years and older, physically located here in the great state of Arizona. If you were someone you know has a gambling problem, wants help, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP, text NEXT STEP to 53342, or visit problemgambling.az.gov for more info. I don't want to tread, I don't want to make light of this, but
Yeah.
I might have needed that number last night because I was throwing down some really stupid bets late in the evening.
You kept winning.
Winners win, though.
I gave you a big fat winner. I mean, you don't want to give me all the credit, but probably do have to give me all the credit for that. It was unbelievable. The fellows were riding high. You're going to be riding high with Mountain America Credit Union because you're like, I didn't know I could get these types of perks from my checking account. I thought I just put my money into a checking account and just sits there, and then when I need it, I'll just use my debit card. No, not with Mountain America Credit Union. They've got the MyStyle Your Lifestyle checking account. It's unbelievable. Built-in bennies. That's right. Built-in benefits, restaurant deals, mobile phone protection, telehealth access, identity protection, loan rate discounts, offers, and travel events. Like if you're hitting the road like we did yesterday with Bird Gang Travel, you're going to want Mountain America Credit Union right there in your pocket because they're going to be able to give you even more perks when you're out on vacation, enjoying yourself, traveling around. MyStyle Your Lifestyle at Mountain America Credit Union. Learn more and sign up, macu.com/mystyle to apply. That's macu.com/mystyle to apply. Membership required based on eligibility. Same benefits required, no cost. Registration, activation, terms, conditions, and exclusions apply. It's macu.com/mystyle.
We do it every week at this time. It's trending up, trending down. PHNX Cardinals on a victory Monday. We're feeling positive. I'm feeling great. I'm going to go first if that's okay with my co-host here.
You absolutely deserve it.
I appreciate that. Let's rip it up here on a football Monday. Noah, man, let's see my trending up for this week. And again, feel good anytime there's a dub. Feel good about JG's road record improving. Jonathan Gannon, listen, he revitalized State Farm Stadium last year. Cardinals win 6-3, best home record since Bruce Arians, which is sad and disappointing all at the same time that it took that long. But the Cardinals turned around their home record. Now he's doing the same thing on the road. And so, yes, are the games a little bit more favorable for Arizona given the opponents this year? You're not going to Buffalo week 1. That being said, you're going on the road. You're beating a team that hasn't lost their home opener in 6 years. You haven't won in New Orleans in 30 years. And just business as usual. It really never felt, at least to me, that game was in severe jeopardy. And that's a good feeling to get for an Arizona Cardinal fan to be able to go into that building, take care of business, leave. It was a business trip. So there was a lot of mental toughness there. And speaking of mental toughness, we mentioned it earlier. Kyler Murray didn't play terrible, wasn't his best. It's coming off having a little bug, according to JG, and it was later confirmed on, I think it was one of his FaZe Clan buddies on streaming that Kyler Murray, and he FaceTimed. Kyler was on the toilet at 4:30. And we all know what that's like. You get sick and you want to tap out.
More.
Yeah. And Kyler Murray played and had 2 touchdown passes yesterday, which was 2 more than a lot of guys in the NFL, including Sam Darnold. And then also trending up, Cardinal safety room, their DB room in general could be the strength of the team. I thought all 3 safeties were very good yesterday. Buda, Jalen saving the game at the end. Taylor Demerson had, I think, the 3rd highest PFF grade. So again, we harped on Will Johnson and Marv, and there's so much good to talk about, but in particular, Cardinals secondary, we shared that stat, if you're just joining us, has given up the least amount of touchdown passes in the NFL dating back to week 7 last year. And then you look at Baltimore last night. It was a great team, great defense. And I know it's not all apples and oranges, but they're giving up touchdown passes left and right, albeit to Josh Allen. I just love the makeup of this defense. Once the front 7 is, up to snuff from maybe I don't know how to phrase this, maybe a conditioning standpoint. I think this defense, the sky's the limit, partially because of how well these DBs are playing.
Let's keep it going as see what's trending up. We'll go with my list here. My 3 categories were the Arizona Cardinals trending up. How about your 2, Marv? We just talked about it, right? 5 catches, 71 yards, a touchdown. It's open for another big play potentially, but Marvin Harrison Jr. it was night and day.
Yeah.
Kyler said it going into the game, that connection is night and day, and you saw it translate to the playing field. So big on year 2, Marv. And then look, Chalk Boy over here, he's back at it. Look out. I've got the full Crayola pack here. I'm going to go Will Johnson. Will Johnson, I mean, you were bullish about the defensive secondary. I'm bullish about one player in particular. We did a full entire segment on him. I mean, you can just go through it. 3 targets, or 3 pass breakups, a near pick that was negated by a bogus penalty. Guy balled out, and he also knocked Chris Olave back to his Ohio State playing days. Will Johnson, big on Sub-Zero there. And then Budda Baker, baby. Budda Baker, part of the game-saving play. Him and Jalen Thompson, let's give JT his flowers as well. But Budda Baker was out there. Another 9 tackles. Just continues to play at a high level. Be the straw that stirs the drink as far as the Arizona Cardinals defense goes. Budda Baker deserves it. I love how he's trending now, continuing as he goes, the year 9 is it for Budda? It's unbelievable, but part of the biggest play of the game yesterday, him going low and JT knocking it out up high.
Love those selections. Also, Snacks giving love in the chat to Max Melton. I agree with the entire secondary. Played well. I can't imagine how good they're going to look when the pass rush and the run defense gets home. That's trending up. Let's go to trending down here on a Victory Monday. And again, we're not here to sling mud. So we're going to have some fun with trending down. Let's see it, Noah. My trending down for this week. Trending down. How about the folks that were anti-Will Johnson in terms of the hype train that may or may not have come from this little fanboy podcast? We were there the day Will Johnson intercepted Kyler Murray, and I was literally feet away from it. And then we had a chance to talk to Jonathan Gannon post practice, and we got a breakdown from it and how taken back Kyler Murray was. And it was a sight to behold. And then you just watch his fluidity. I tried my best. Bo tried his best. We would put out videos. Maybe it would do justice for people just to see what it looked like. And then because he got picked on in a couple preseason games where the team doesn't game plan, I had snarks and trolls and big-time losers with minimal football acumen come at this show saying, you guys don't know what you're talking about. Will Johnson's not ready. He's a bum. He looks slow. I mean, people said that in my mentions.
Yeah.
A couple people in particular. And then you see it yesterday, and it's just like, nope, this is who he is. This is who he's always been. This is what it looked like in training camp. So trending down, the big-time losers that were anti-Sub-Zero's hype.
I agree with, by the way, Dusty Cooks here and Terry Morris. I think they make good points. I agree with a lot of this that Dante Stills, he deserves some, he was all over the field yesterday. As far as it seems absurd to me to think that somebody looked at the resume for Michigan at the highest level you could play collegiately. And, Will Johnson, what he put together, gave up less touchdowns than he scored on defense. Stupid stat, 9 career picks in his, basically 2 seasons and some change. It's absurd. It's absurd. And the only thing that stood in his way was checking out medically. And he looks like he's fresh. He looks like he's healthy. Played a good amount of snaps yesterday. Yeah, it's a bad day to be the haters.
Yeah. We're going to keep things going. But before we do, I want to remind everybody we're going into overtime. I want to welcome all of our friends watching from our many streaming partners to GoPHNX.com. We got over 350 watching live. Hammer that like button. I got 2 more on trending down here on a Victory Monday. Sam Darnold, is he a fraud? We're going to find out. He has not looked good the last couple of starts. He looked atrocious yesterday. He gave up a game-ending fumble, no touchdown passes, a very mediocre passer rating. Brock Purdy, I do not care for. At least he was trying. I mean, trying to give his receivers a shot. He threw a couple picks, but Sam Darnold, to me, without Kevin O'Connell, Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, I have to be courted that that's going to work. And by the way, DK Metcalf making plays for the Steelers. What are you doing? If you're the Seahawks, just you need to try to mirror what Minnesota did with him. Don't take weapons away. So
Right.
again, I'm not here to talk grief about Seattle as an operation. They kicked the Cardinals' ass. But what I saw yesterday from Sam Darnold and subsequently what I've seen from Geno Smith, I can tell you who I'd rather have, and it's not Sammy Debo.
No. And it's good news, right? Because we like, how in flux is this offense going to be with a new play caller, the exodus of weapons, and then bringing in Sam Darnold? Well, you got a taste of that yesterday against the Niners. Just couldn't get it done in a low-scoring affair. All right, what's this last one about?
Quickly here, my physical health, it's nothing serious, but I have consumed too much fried food, butter over the course of 72 hours plus in New Orleans. I'm back here in Arizona and trying to get my life right. Just to give you an idea, they served buttery, cheesy grits in the press box. A+, 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
Bread pudding, immaculate. Johnny Po' Boy, Bo Brock also sampled. I mean, the food was 10 out of 10 New Orleans, but my chest hurt a little bit this morning, and I need a little bit of a water detox. I had to have my co-host give me a protein bar on the airplane on the way home because I need to refresh, and I don't want to have 6 chins on the pregame show this Saturday or this Sunday.
Just cleanse it up, my man. Just let's get to a healthier lifestyle. But we understand. Yeah, Claymore Jones just couldn't have said it better. Get your life right, Johnny.
Yeah.
All right, let's get to my trending down. No, I do not include my physical health on this one. And no, folks who are out there who've already brought it up, my flip-flop game, it is trending down. I understand that, but it's not on this list. The interior offensive line, we mentioned it, the struggles, Evan Brown. Also, you had Isaiah Adams, who was one of the training camp standouts this year. It was unfortunate to see the struggles that they had interior-wise. There's still confidence. Isaiah Adams, this was just his 6th career game. So this is a guy at Illinois that I think a lot of people have confidence that he's going to be able to turn it around. But I think that's why they struggled primarily running the ball. And also, I thought you saw Evan Brown struggle as far as pass pro goes. So the interior of the offensive line, not including Yeldon Froholt, I thought he was a steady self yesterday. The defensive front, we got into it. Ball was coming out quick, but at the same time, outside of the first series, you want to see more pressure dialed up from that defensive front. Wanted to see more from Darius Robinson. I've heard some people or seen some people talk about D-Rob in the chat. I think it's justified. You want to see more from the 26th overall pick. So as of right now, 1 game into it, I'm going to trend him down. And did we put him too high up to start? Maybe, but there's the expectation should be higher than, of course, coming off of what we've witnessed the last 2 years rooting for this team, and then complimentary playmakers. I know that we're looking for quality over quantity here, but just didn't see that, outside of Marv, didn't see that outside of Trey McBride. You got to see those guys who are next in line. Maybe it's more trending down from also the standpoint of how many opportunities they're going to get, because I think they're going to lessen with the emergence of Marvin Harrison Jr. in year 2.
Yeah, I'm not concerned about either the O-line or the D-line, as we've talked about, but I do agree, didn't have good days yesterday. But I expect that to be, corrected. I don't know what the future of this receiving core is beyond the top 2 guys. I mean, we talked a lot about Zay Jones in training camp because he was on display and they were doing 7-on-7 and he got a lot of opportunities. And now it's when will we see Zay Jones or Michael Wilson? Maybe they'll have good games. I love Michael Wilson. He's been a part of this company, dating back to 2 years ago. But I also know that Drew Petzing's very much a creature of habit. To me, it's can we find a way? And this is where you and I were on the same page this offseason. I feel like Zay Jones and Michael Wilson are just more of what they already have. Big physical receivers, right? And obviously Marv and Trey are the elites, the blue chippers of that. It's does Xavier Weaver get an opportunity because of his ability to separate? Why was Christian Kirk so enticing for this show? Was because of his ability to separate over the top. I don't know. They have never shown value in that. They haven't shown an ability to want that as a part of their offense. I don't know why. Yeah. But to me, it's I'm not here for any of the third receiver talk unless it's, hey, we're going to get a guy and have a package for him to have go routes and post routes to rip it downfield. And I love Michael Wilson, Zay Jones. those guys don't possess that, right? So to me, I don't even know. I don't know if this is going to be something that's correctable this season.
Yeah, I mean, Michael Wilson, Zay Jones, Greg Dortch, catch a piece for 5, 4, and -2 yards respectively.
Yeah.
Just, we know that the ball's not going to go their way, but you're hoping for them to get a bigger chance to produce than that. So more so like, forecasting the opportunities. Are they going to dry up even more so if the Cardinals can only look to 2 guys for production? So that concludes Trending Up, Trending Down. I think we could put an honorary member given the news today from all the insiders across the league about the San Francisco 49ers who stole one yesterday in Seattle.
It's gross. Give them credit. I underestimated how bad Sam Darnold would look.
Yeah.
And they're allowing, I mean, to me, it's like there's no excuse for the Cardinals because Brock Purdy's out there throwing the Joe blows and down the field when he had to have it. The 49ers, though, play the Arizona Cardinals in 2 weeks, and they're going to not have George Kittle in that game. This is on Twitter. Let's see it, Noah, man. Multiple sources, including Scott Shanley, saying George Kittle is out this Sunday against the Saints, and it sounds like, and this is new, Brock Purdy and a shoulder surgery and toe injury could be out. A good chance Mac Jones starts at quarterback. So I don't know if the Saints can beat the 49ers without, even without Kittle and Brock Purdy, but I'm liking what I'm seeing because I'm going to tell you right now, Christian McCaffrey did not look good yesterday.
What was the stat you were seeing from Trent Williams too?
Yeah, Trent Williams lost a step, was giving up more pressures than he has historically. And I know the Seahawks front is good. Yeah. McCaffrey had like 22 carries for 69 yards. I mean, like the Niners had no business winning that game. The Seahawks gave it to them. And so I have more faith in the Cardinals defense and certainly in the Cardinals offense, as crazy as it sounds, over what I saw from Seattle.
Yeah.
This is setting up for Arizona to go into Santa Clara 2-0. Certainly sans Kittle, a broken down McCaffrey, and maybe whatever the hell is remaining of Brock Purdy for the Cardinals to dominate the 49ers. You need to be playing your best football in 2 weeks because that team, it's like a little gazelle limping around the desert and you're the predator.
Right.
Like, look at that team right now and tell me that you can't boat race that team if you're playing your best football. You absolutely
you got to have that killer instinct, right? And you got to take care of business this week. You can't look ahead, even though it is tantalizing, and then get on a business trip to the Bay Area and hopefully put yourself in a position to turn your record into 3-0. Because what do we know about this 6-game stretch? Like the Niners game was a bit of a question mark, right? Like we were sniffing that out a long time ago. I think a lot of people are even though they're celebrating yesterday's win in the past, that could have very easily been intercepted by Rick Woolen, but wasn't for Brock Purdy and the Niners victory. Like I think everybody's like, this thing, they're so thin. Like how long can they last? How long can they keep their head above water? The Arizona Cardinals, the first 6 games were against non-playoff teams. Mm-hmm. And now it's like, if you truly can get off to a fast start, it just gives you that much more margin for error and ability to kind of do some work here at the latter half of the schedule. But right now is the time to really beat up on these teams, including Carolina Sunday.
A lot of it depends on when you play these teams. The Niners could be better later this year once everybody's back. Guess what? George Kittle historically destroys the Cardinals. Yeah. He's not playing. He ain't playing that game.
No. I mean, what'd they say? 3 to 5 weeks.
He's out minimum.
That was rap sheet. Yeah. And if he comes back in a miracle case, like what kind of shape is he going to be in?
They bought themselves time knowing their schedule with that win yesterday. Yeah. So now you can say, well, certainly he's not playing against the Saints this week. And
what's the spread on that game?
Let's pull it up with our friends at Bet365. This is not great podcasting, as Caleb Williams looks very competent. Kevin O'Connell fraud alert with JJ McCarthy. So we'll keep an eye on that.
Quarterback whisper.
Sam Darnold, Kevin O'Connell should have never separated. All right, looking ahead to this weekend.
Danny Dimes, too.
49ers.
Dimes.
The 49ers are a 4.5-point favorite at New Orleans right now. Cardinals, if you're scoring at home, were a 7-point favorite by the time kickoff happened. So we'll be anxious to see what happens to this line.
I mean, is Christian like a 60% Christian McCaffrey enough in a little bit of defense to beat that team? I think we've seen that potentially. They can bottle up the run like they did against the Cardinals.
Yeah. And listen, I thought this game was in San Francisco. It's still in New Orleans.
Yeah.
New Orleans is at home again. So back-to-back road games for San Francisco. Their home opener is against the Cardinals a week from Sunday. But here's where you're at with Kyler Murray and Drew Petzing and this offense. It's all right there in front of you. You're facing inferior quarterbacks, inferior teams. Doesn't matter how you get it done, just get it done. Stack up W's. Get yourself in a position where we're entering the bye week and you are regression proof in the second half, where it's like we've stacked up kind of like 2021. Mm-hmm. You don't want to have it in a position where you're not playing your best football, but you get to like 6 wins before the bye, and you're, what is it, 6-1, 7-1 before the bye. You're guaranteed to go to the postseason, and you're right there to win the division. But you got to take care of business against Carolina. The good news is, Bo, they're not overlooking Carolina after what happened last year.
No. Yeah, and look, Carolina, I mean, Bryce Young has been atrocious in season openers. He continued that trend yesterday. They only mustered 10 points. He turned the ball over 3 times. He had a 4th and 1. It's probably, you should count it as a 4th turnover. 4th and 1, he threw out of bounds. Threw it away. Bryce Young, like, still doing inexplicable things.
He's not a good player.
We're talking about a December that he had where he looked the best he has, where he took care of the football and was productive, including that Cardinals game. But, like, this Carolina team did not look much improved. I think the only bright spot they really have been talking about was Tedero McMillan. And outside of that, they were just a poor excuse of a football team.
Bo, people talk about, like, he really got it going last year. He completed 60% of his throws last year. He had 2,400 yards. He was benched during the season. Right. He threw 15 touchdown passes. His quarterback rating was like 80. People are like, Bryce Young, really, this is it. He's not any good. Now, what does it say about Kyler Murray if he loses to him again? Well, F it. We'll have that conversation next Monday. But guess what? I think Kyler Murray, full week to recover from, rum-tums, get out there and take care of business at home, open things up. Guess who did not look good? The Panther defense that people were just slobbering all over this offseason. It's like, nope, they don't have good players. Will Johnson's going to...
Travis Etienne, who people were writing off this year, ran for about 150 against them. He was a $146.
Tedero McMillan will be shut down by Will Johnson. Kay Gordon said... JV said the same thing about Rattler, and we made him look solid. He didn't throw a touchdown pass.
Right.
Guy. They scored 15. They scored 13 points. If Bryce Young does that this weekend, guess what? The Cardinals are winning. Like he didn't have a touchdown pass. Yeah. They scored 13 points.
Yeah.
He should have had an interception that the officials gifted him back. He was fine. People are like talking about, look out, because we all assumed it would be a train wreck of like 3 picks and 10 sacks.
Right.
He's like, how many points did they produce? 13 points. You're not winning anything doing that.
Right.
Nothing.
They got rid of his safety blanket, Adam Thielen. They traded him for some reason. They want to develop those guys. And look, week 2 of the season, that might be too quick. But look, Jonathan Gannon told me today, Johnny, he was like, he thinks that you can make a monumental jump from week 1 to week 2.
Oh, yeah.
A team that's taken, their shortcomings yesterday very seriously. And you hope to see them apply that in their home opener come Sunday. Like, this is a team that, as you pointed out, first winning season at home since the BA era. They're going to look to set the tone in week 2.
We are going to get to your super chats, but first I want to highlight 5 new members. Become a member here at PHNX Sports on our YouTube. Get that badge. The memberships right now, I believe, are $15. And something we just opened up. So show your support. I think you can pick a live membership. Yeah, there it is. Supporters since 2025. Join the Supporters Club. True sicko level stuff. If you want full access to emojis, we also can see on our end who are members. So We appreciate it for the real ones. And I'm going to go rapid fire here. Our newest members.
Yeah.
PHNX Sports here on YouTube. June Thomas, thank you so much for your YouTube membership. AZ Cats G, have to assume was courted by our guys Kevin and Damon. Well-deserved. Welcome, Mr. Katz. Candace became a member right around 1 o'clock today. So thank you so much, Candace. And then Tom, 336, became a member. And then Groundhog, thank you so much, Tom. We appreciate you. And then Groundhog Mama 2 became a member at Showtime. Of course, Shaft is a member in our chat. So thank you all for becoming members. Get those banner icon emojis. We appreciate everybody.
Nasty clearly had it. I saw him drop some lives in there.
Hell yeah.
It's great.
Brian's a member. Brian, one of our favorites here. So it's a community that grows stronger every day because of all of you. So we appreciate that. We appreciate the super chats, Bo.
It's awesome to see. Let's continue. Let's do the super chats right now. Noah, young man. Start with Turtle Trolls, 199 if we would. We had a doo-doo Kyler and still won the game in more ways than one. No, look, I didn't think Kyler was doo-doo in this game. That Kyler played fine. I thought he was good at times and made some plays. I mean, look, you wanted to see maybe more robust stat line as far as passing yardage, 163, especially maybe adding on to 125 that he had at the end of one half. But the 2 passing touchdowns, and then also thought he looked good running the football. Close to 40 yards there. I didn't have the same takeaway that he was doo-doo outside of the fact that he was on the toilet at 4:30 in the morning.
Hammer that like button. Let's get to 500 likes. We appreciate it. Turtle Trolls, I'm with you, though. He just didn't feel well. I thought after that second quarter, though, he's going to finish with like 4 touchdowns. But I don't know. You never know what could be a byproduct of the play calling, conservative nature, but got to keep the pressure on. Ryan Walker just became a new member. We appreciate you, Ryan. Hell yeah. Let's go, my guy. Thank you so much, Ryan. Welcome to the YouTube Supporters Club. Gatorade Man, $4.99. Guys, look at Philly's first 5 games of 2024. The Eagles were in many close games against bad teams. They still won the Super Bowl. A win is a win. Absolutely. Can't take wins away from you. There's only 17 of them. Style points matter, but at the end of the day, this team walked out of New Orleans for the first time with a dub in 30 years. So, again, there are so many things to correct, but you also feel good about that you didn't play nearly your best football and you still covered the spread yesterday.
Yeah, no, you did. Keeping it going here. How about Taco Corp, $4.99? Does it normally take 7 years to learn to throw the ball instead of running out of bounds for a 2-yard loss? Also surprised to see 0 impact from D-Rob.
Yeah, Kyler Murray usually does a good job eluding sacks. They only had like 28, 29 last year. I'm going to Taco Corp chalk this up as an outlier performance for pressures and Kyler Murray and all that. The Darius Robinson thing, when we talked to Jonathan Gannon at the Combine, he was very blunt that while we're all bullish on D-Rob, who had a good training camp, Darius Robinson is basically resetting his rookie year. He missed so much time last year. Gannon called it year 1.5. So here's the good news is he's got an elite coaching staff. He's got Calais Campbell. He looked good in training camp in one-on-one drills. So he was a late first-round pick. I think he'll be just fine. But I know a lot of people were disappointed that Darius wasn't flashing all over the place yesterday.
Another one from Taco Corp here at $4.99. Also missed a 4-leg parlay with Marv. Catch yards. Cardinals cover thanks to Sam Darnold. Butt fumble 2.0. 100 to 1.1K. Love the show, guys.
Wow. So he didn't hit that, or he did hit that? Or he missed his parlay on the... Sorry to hear that. Well, I appreciate the support. We appreciate the support, Taco Corp. It's great that football's back and we can gamble like degenerates. But in all seriousness, hopefully Cardinals, I think, feeling pretty good about the parlay we're putting together this weekend, Bo. We got some tasty little nuggets to pull from, but definitely going to include a teased up Cards money line this time around.
Let's see it with our friends at Bet365. Download that app today. Use the code PHNX365 and cash in on the benefits from that. We're going to rest up tonight. We've been traveling. We've had a great time. Our friends over at Bird Gang Travel put together an elite
Unreal.
weekend for everybody out there. The over 150 people that enjoyed it, the trip to New Orleans, it was a banner one, and nobody does it to Tyler and Eric out there. Here are some pictures. Got our guy Ryan over here. Look at that squad here on the right. There's Johnny. What do you got in your hand there? Is that a cocktail?
No, that
is.
No, that was a bubble maker. It was one of those bubble makers that your kids use. Somebody handed it to me. Weird.
Loyal diehards over there. We got Jake Plummer leading the crew in the parade out there on Bourbon Street. It's just wall-to-wall Cardinals fans. The Red Sea flooded Bourbon Street. Nicholas over here, young fan, got to hang out with him pregame. This was the tailgate. Bird Gang Travel, man. birdgangtravel.com. They're going to Dallas this year. If you missed out on this, there's us catching up with the Snake on our live show from Saturday. Join them for the Monday Night Football game. You will not regret it. There's the crew. There it is. Noah wanted to spotlight himself there. There's Johnny and myself on the left. But as he should have, there's Noah throwing it up for the Bird Gang. Official member. We all are now part of the Bird Gang Travel Gang. From all the best ways to travel, watching your favorite team, the Cardinals, do it with Bird Gang Travel.
We get it. Like, there are a lot of people who have season tickets and do a great job supporting the team here locally. And then there are a lot of people who are like, how do I see a road game? What's the best experience? Unquestionably, this is the best experience by far. Got to see it up close. We've had relationships with them in the past. They've been a banner part of this Cardinal community. But I mean, I was blown away, and I know Tyler and his peers do a phenomenal job. But you just have to experience it up close, like the access.
Oh yeah,
spot on Bourbon Street. It's all first class. It is. You feel like you get your money's worth times 10.
There's so many misconceptions and assumptions about what it is and what it isn't. You have to really kind of experience it yourself. You do, because you won't regret it. The higher level experience you get, like, you can go put together a travel package you want, put in the effort for that, but you're not gonna like the cruise on Friday night. They're in the French Quarter to all day Saturday, from the parade to our live show to the event Saturday night, watching the Sun Devils game with Jake Plummer and eating free food and drinking free booze, and then the free food and booze at the tailgate the next day, plus the premium seats that everybody was sitting in.
Unreal.
Was a bad seat that Bird Gang Travel provided. Like, experience yourself before you start to make any kind of false assumptions on this.
Yeah, and we've worked with other travel partners in the past, and we've had good experiences, and this isn't a shot at anybody else. Like, this is like, if I was a fan, this is all I would ever do. Like, if Bo and I weren't working there, like, I would only travel with Bird Gang Travel, because it is A+. They have so many more on the docket for later this year, including Dallas, which it sounds like Bo will be in Dallas. We have a partner that just goes above and beyond for Cardinal fans. So excited about that. Hopefully, Bird Gang Travel, they were there in 2021, 2022 when the Cardinals made the playoffs against the Rams. I was there. I got to go to one of their events that night. Very poetic. Hopefully, if the Cardinals return to the playoffs, get to travel to a playoff game with Bird Gang Travel. I've talked to many people, including my father, who has never seen a Cardinal playoff game. And it's like, if the Cardinals make the playoffs, I'm there. And Bird Gang Travel is going to be ready to accommodate everybody. So, we appreciate everybody who made it out. It was very humbling to see all the Cardinal fans came up, talked about how much they enjoyed the show. And hopefully it's just the beginning of good vibes here in 2025, Bo.
Yeah, no doubt about it. We caught up with John today at the airport, Robert out there at the airport. It was really cool to see everyone who watched the show at beyond these studio walls or beyond the watch parties walls. Thank you to everybody that tunes in, likes, subscribes, downloads, whatever it may be. Start of a good season, 1-0. You can't get to 2-0 without starting 1-0. Arizona Cardinals have put themselves in that position. Home opener coming up Sunday. I'll be out at the facility tomorrow. Johnny, Nick Rollis, Drew Petzing, Jeff Rogers, all talking ball. We'll have the sights and sounds from that. You, of course, can find it at PHNX_Cardinals. Bo Brack, of course, at Johnny Venerable on Twitter. Check out everything on Instagram as well. AZ Moses 89 just became a member as well. Welcome, AZ Moses. Continue to load up. Elites. The elites are getting on board.
We're loading up this week with AZ Moses 89 in the fold. Kurt Warner makes his show debut on Wednesday. Mark your calendars. We're thinking Ross Tucker, who is on the call, maybe hitting up Ross tomorrow. But then Kurt Warner is ready to roll on PHNX Cardinals on Wednesday, Bo. It is something that we've been anxiously awaiting. We appreciate all the positive support with that. And I'm sure he's going to have some Kyler Murray opinions. He already shared a couple on his Twitter account.
Oh, man. I can't wait to deep dive that. Will Johnson's performance, this offense overall, Petzing's play calling, like we're going to have all of it. Kurt's going to be the best person to give us the answers that we're all seeking. Don't miss it. And the only way you can really kind of be locked in is if you're subscribed to PHNX here on YouTube and like this. Johnny said the like goal. It's 500 today on a Victory Monday. Continue enjoying it. You got a few more hours of that, and then we'll talk to you tomorrow at 4:30 here on PHNX Cardinals.
We all silly like the mayor.